credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. This is the CBC Evening News. Prime Minister Frendel Stuart says his administration will ensure the stability of Barbados' economy. He says the measures outlined in the 2015 financial statement and budgetary proposals are geared towards doing just that. Speaking in support of the budget proposals, he says government committed to cutting the deficit from 11% last year and managed to achieve it.
We were able, by the end of the financial year, 31st of March 2015, to bring that deficit down to 6.6% of GDP. So we have made progress, and the Minister of Finance has to be congratulated for the effort he has made in that regard. The overall government has to be congratulated because this called for some doing.
Meanwhile, Mr. Stuart also expressed government's commitment to looking for feasible tertiary education financing solutions. He, however, expressed the hope students will seek to pursue university education for the right reasons.
Because long before we had a university here, there were Barbadians who were registering externally with London University and doing external degrees because they believed fervently in the creative power of learning. If the only reason anybody goes to university is because it is free, something is fundamentally wrong. And we have to confront that as a value.
Finance Minister Chris Sinclair says all the rules, including those related to town planning, have to be followed before the $350 million Cahill project proceeds. He stressed this point while winding up debate on the budget last night. The finance minister, however, took issue with what he says was an attempt by the opposition to convince Barbadians the Frendel Stuart administration was involved in an underhand deal and was selling out the country. Mr. Sinclair says it is simply not true that the Cabinet and Solicitor General were unaware of the Cahill deal.
I sat in meetings where the XG came to the meetings and advised and participated and expressed her views on what was in the contract. Said what she did like and what she did not like.
Stating the government of Barbados is not putting any money into the gasification plant, he pointed to major programs undertaken in Barbados which were established as special projects. These include the Sustainable Barbados Recycling Centre's waste management facility.
Just like Cahill Energy is set up specifically for the purpose of doing the waste to energy plant. Huh? The Ionics company, the Ionics company, which the salt plant them ever set up and do, what was their track record in water desalination, salt water desalination? Tell me.
That is scary.
Tell me. And they set up a plant and successfully running it.
Minister of Environment and Drainage, Dr. Dennis Lowe, has responded to allegations by opposition leader Mia Mottley regarding the plans by Cahill to establish a multi-million-dollar gasification plant in Barbados. He says the matter of the Environmental Impact Assessment, or EIA, is being addressed.
The EIA is on its way. It's on its way. I knew today's. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, they said the cost based on an article in the paper recently. The cost of the, I heard somebody yesterday say it moved from 300 million to 320 million, and that every month you're adding on 50 million. There is nowhere in this article, nowhere, where Cahill said that the plant would cost $700 million. Nowhere in here.
Opposition MP Santia Bradshaw has expressed concern about the negative impact that some of the measures contained in the 2015 financial statement and budgetary proposals will have on businesses. The St. Michael Southeast MP specifically identified the new tax on mobile call time as she spoke in opposition to the budget proposals in the House of Assembly.
If you are a small business, if you are a medium-sized business, if you are a large business, and you have several employees and you utilize a phone, particularly a cell phone, to be able to engage in the practice of business, you are looking, say, at a minimum of 4 hours per day for, say, 5 or 6 days a week. You are looking at $7.20 per day. Over the course of a month, ma'am, that is $165.60 a month. The reality, Madam Deputy Speaker, is that in these trying times for small businesses in particular, this is an additional burden.
An opposition member of parliament wants to see a greater emphasis placed on low-income houses for rent. St. Michael East MP Trevor Prescott says government must play its role to ensure such housing is within the affordability of low-income earners.
At least we have to find a way of producing low-income houses for rent. We have to do that. There are too many people at present not sleeping in homes, earning the title sometimes as squatters, loiterers, all kind of pejoratives, vagrants. We have to address that.
Opposition MP for St. Joseph, Dale Marshall, believes the proposed requirement for some professionals to secure a tax clearance certificate before receiving their licenses can be challenged on its legal merits.
Travel Services, Section 24, pay your fee or else you cannot sell a plane ticket. Veterinary Surgeon, Section 9. The Nurses Registration Act, so every single one of them, you are required to pay your fee before you are able to practice your profession under law. And I have no doubt, sir, I have no doubt that any higher tribunal will find that the imposition of this requirement that you prove to government that you've paid your taxes or else you can't work will be found, sir, to be unlawful and a contravention of your fundamental human rights.
In other news now, 2 families tonight are suffering different fates after 2 shooting incidents within hours of each other. Sean Farrell reports.
In what was a bloody 24 hours, 2 men were shot, 1 killed. 22-year-old Dion Howard, alias Dick, lost his life last night after a shooting incident in the Garden Road, Station Hill area. Howard was lying near a playing field at the time. A team from the CBC visited a somber Station Hill neighborhood where we met Dion's family. His brother Ramel recalled how he heard the news.
I didn't know get one from work too. And somebody told me so. I said get divine. Just had me shot, boy. Thought the boy wasn't serious.
We also visited family members at the Station Hill police station. One of them, who declined to speak on camera, says she helped raise Dion. She described him as a very pleasant person, and though she's deeply saddened by his passing, continues to trust God.
It is really sad and hard to accept, but you can't question the Lord. Everything is well done with him, and he don't put no more than what any of us could bear.
Dion's mother, who was visibly grieving, has one simple wish.
I would like justice for my son. I would like the police to hold the fella that killed my innocent son. That's all I have to say.
CBC also caught up with some of Dion's friends. One man says he was hard-working and was cleaning seaweed with him only days before. Another says his friend was an average guy who got along with everyone.
Dick used to make me laugh, you know, he was come and crack a joke with me, you know, make some sport, you know, talk about a lot of girls and thing. He was a good man.
I love Dick, and Dick was a good person. Never was harmful to anyone, and my condolences to the family.
Howard was taken to the QEH by a private motor vehicle and underwent emergency surgery. He succumbed to his injuries and died in the early hours of this morning. Only hours after the Station Hill shooting, the CBC team encountered blood-stained asphalt after 6 bandits reportedly robbed a popular rendezvous establishment. The owner of Monster Grill is nursing wounds to the torso and leg area, but is said to be in stable condition. He was shot 6 times, while assailants stole an undisclosed sum of money and items from 3 employees. His brother was at the Monster Grill for most of the day, and he said the injured owner returned to the island after many years in New York to operate the family-owned bar. He says he always feared for his brother's safety, but remains at a loss as to why the business was targeted.
I have no idea. I can't begin to understand why they would have done it. Besides the fact of robbery and for money, that's the only idea you can come up with.
One Monster Grill employee who did not want to go on camera says she was very upset about the incident and is hoping police act swiftly to arrest those responsible. The lady, who was visibly shaken up, shared the traumatic experience.
Blood in his head, blood on his hands, and I just wanted to see if anywhere else was shot, because I heard about 6 shots went off, and I was very scared.
Sean Farrell, CBC News.
We'll have more news in just a moment, but first we want to get your take on this question. Should a police presence be mandatory at all major fetes in Barbados? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results at the end of the news.
Dear Clark, I've made a fascinating discovery: the institutional water cooler. Its gravitational pull sucks people from their workstations at the busiest times of day to stand around it and chat about emerging global trends like, will pink be in fashion next season? Meanwhile, the world slows to a stop as it waits in line to be served. I don't see that trend at Globe Finance.
Globe Finance. Think outside the bank.
When it comes to their financial service, slow is out, swift is in.
At Lime, we don't need any tricks or gimmicks. We treat all our prepaid customers like MVPs. MVP means maximum value per person, maximum respect. Subscribe to any 1 gig 30-day data plan and enjoy a reduced calling rate of just 49 cents to any network, any landline, anytime. With Lime, you pay just 49 cents and call any phone in Barbados, so you won't have to top up as often. Put data on your phone and keep your money in your pocket with Lime MVP.
Don't miss this fantastic offer. For a limited time, get 25% off select wines at the Platinum Wine Store in the People's Market Complex, Tudor Bridge.
More great cities just got closer. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard is now even better. Fly to New York, Miami, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale with just 20,000 Scotia points. With your new Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard, you'll receive a welcome bonus of 10,000 Scotia points, so you can enjoy the cities you love most sooner than ever. Apply today. Call 426-7000 or visit your nearest branch. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
It's Socoholic Pop-Up Party number 3 with your #1 station. Coming to Vibes. Sunday, June 21st. From 6 p.m. until midnight.
Anytime, anywhere, the party starts here.
The NUPW has given the BIDC management until noon tomorrow to withdraw the 13 dismissal letters issued to staff yesterday. Just before 10:30 this morning, union officials, with over 20 staff members, staged an hour-long peaceful protest on the corporation's compound. NUPW Acting Deputy General Secretary Delcia Burke says the letters were issued in a disrespectful manner. She says, therefore, the union officials refused to attend the meeting, which was originally scheduled for this morning with the BIDC officials. She adds this matter will not be taken lightly as it has wide-ranging implications.
If we allow this to happen, then it means that NUPW is going to be fighting all the statutory boards in Barbados, because they would believe that if one person gets away with it, that they can get away with it too. It don't only have implications for the statutory boards, but it also has implications for the national budget. The national insurance would have done an actuarial study years ago, and that study showed that if the retirement age remained at 60, that the NIS would be in trouble.
2 staff members were also terminated from the IT department in separate cases. The acting Deputy General Secretary says these developments have left many BIDC staff members depressed. Meanwhile, the BIDC says the staffing changes arose following a meeting with the Board of Directors on May 20th, 2015. They're attempting to move the corporation forward aggressively with increased focus and accountability. And part of the plan involves streamlining operations. The report confirmed 2 from the IT department were made redundant on May 27th as part of restructuring efforts. The release also defended the Board of Directors' decision, citing Section 8 of the Statutory Board's Pension Act to retire officers at the age of 60 years. The BIDC says the outcome of these changes will be a smaller, more nimble organization, better equipped to innovate, propel its work forward, and offer the response the industry portfolio now urgently requires. It expressed appreciation for those who were retired and said it would provide resources to help them through their transition. All members of the Sanitation Service Authority's Division Committee of Management are being called to a meeting with the NUPW on Saturday. That meeting will be held at the union's Dalkeith Road headquarters. According to the union's acting Assistant General Secretary, Wayne Waldron, it will address several issues and concerns voiced by the workers. Well, efforts are underway to diffuse the escalating tension between the Barbados Workers Union and the Barbados Light and Power Company. CBC understands Labour Minister Dr. Esther Bayer is trying to get the 2 sides to meet. That's according to advisor to the General Secretary of the BWU, Sir Roy Trotman.
We have spoken to her, and it is our understanding that she is endeavoring to bring the parties together to a meeting. When we spoke to her yesterday, Wednesday, she undertook to be working towards this and to get back to us. We are standing by to discover whether that will be done, because she is very concerned, as we are, concerned with preventing this matter from degenerating into an exercise on those who are most reckless and who want to be most disrespectful to labor management relations in Barbados.
This follows Tuesday's severing of 19 people by the BL&P after the 2 sides had met a day earlier. The BWU said that meeting ended with the understanding that the parties would meet again for further discussions. However, the power company has said there was no such understanding. Still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. But first, a reminder that we want to hear from you on the question: should a police presence be mandatory at all major fêtes in Barbados? Text yes